this episode, I wanted to dive into a weird phenomenon in regards to quitting addictions and joining a journey of sobriety, as that's the theme of my channel and that's what I'm extremely passionate about. One of the most interesting, I'd say, psychological things that people go through when starting a new journey of addiction is this term, which is also used for relationships. So, when people get into a new relationship and they have this, what they call honeymoon period, where, everything's great, there's no arguments, the novelty's there, psychologically nothing can go wrong, the person you're with is perfect, life's perfect, and then you sort of have like a couple of early arguments, or you don't agree about a couple of things, and that sort of honeymoon period sort of disappears, and we all know what that is. We've all heard of that before. The same sort of thing exists with people who are just starting a fitness journey, quitting a substance, or it also could be like a new job, or could be anything. The reason I want to talk about it with the addiction sort of standpoint is there's so many people I've met that are so fucking excited about starting a new journey of like, you know what, this week, Chris, I'm gonna stop smoking bongs. I'm gonna go to the gym every day. I'm gonna do my best to never not drink as much, and I'm really gonna dive into it. So you wait till you see me after 12 months. It's gonna be crazy. And what happens? Everything works out perfectly. So, they start going to the gym, which is a great replacement for the dopamine and the routine of doing drugs. They dial in, so they buy all their gym clothes, they buy all their supplements, they buy a membership, and they stop using their drug of choice. They get rid of the influences that they need to. Everything's going how it should. But then suddenly, it might be like maybe 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in, their dopamine's cranking, their serotonin's cranking, the endorphins from going to the gym, the endorphins from seeing their skin looking better, seeing their overall health improving, seeing their life actually get better. Everything's going how it should, and then suddenly, they have a bit of friction. So maybe they have a bit of a negative thing happen at work, or maybe they have like a negative thing in their relationship, or maybe they hear from a family member or an old friend that they didn't want to hear from, or whatever that event is. As soon as that pops up, their instant sort of go-to to handle it is always, fuck, I want to use. Fuck, I want to get high. Fuck, I want to escape. And problem with that is all that awesome like enthusiasm, drive, optimism, passion, discipline, and everything just goes. And then suddenly they obviously break their sobriety, and they either go and get really drunk, or they go, oh, I just had a little joint, or I just had a little line on the weekend with some mates, blah 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 blah. And then when you then discuss it with them a bit further and sort of dig deeper into why, and sort of try and pinpoint the reasoning for that, they always come to that excuse of, oh, it was because something went wrong at work, or it was because my relationship's fucked, or it was because John pissed me off, or whatever it is. It's because of this. And unfortunately, if we can't delete that sort of thinking or behavior from our reality, the addiction's always going to be there, because we have to learn different ways to cope with frustration. So I've always been a heavy sleeper, and I've always been able to sleep really, really well. When I started using drugs a lot, especially amphetamines and stimulants and coke, MDMA, they disrupt your sleep, right? The problem with that is you then depend on smoking like weed or doing benzos to actually get that sleep. Once I'm asleep, I'm fine, which then creates a dependence, right? And the problem we then face with that is it creates another addiction to get that sleep. Now that I don't do drugs, my coping mechanism is to sleep when I'm pissed off or when something goes wrong. So what I do is I have like a half an hour or an hour nap, right? Because for me, what that does is it's not me going to use, it's not me having a tantrum, it's not me ringing someone up and abusing them, it's not me taking my frustration out on something or projecting onto someone else. What that is for myself is it's my escape. And it's my way of dealing with negativity. So if I have a relationship issue, or if I have something happen at work, or whatever it is, I will make it work. I'll either go to my car, I'll go go to my apartment, whatever it is, and I'll just have a half an hour to an hour nap. As soon as that nap's finished, I'm now reset, and then I can tackle the problem. That's in like an extreme circumstance, but that's just a really healthy example of how people can use different tools to actually tackle roadblocks rather than just using, and rather than turning to their drug of choice, or rather than turning to, unhealthy addictions. I know a lot of other people dial into like exercise. If something goes wrong, they will, go for a 5K run just to blow off some steam. Some people might go to their boxing gym and just have a round on the bags for, 15, 20 minutes or something like that, just to take the edge off and then deal with it. Those strategies are fantastic strategies, dealing with the honeymoon period crashing. And look, the other part I want to talk about when it comes to that honeymoon period is you can reignite that honeymoon period. So what I mean by that is we've had a couple of months of like, woo, I'm starting something new. That novelty wears off, okay? And then we're just cruising along in our usual discipline or our routines and stuff like that. The longer you actually go with, say, going to the gym like regularly every week, every day, the longer you go being sober and drug-free and alcohol-free, the longer you go without melting down, or the longer you go without looking for an escape, it sort of can feel like a bit of a badge or a bit of a merit, as in like an internal switch that goes, holy fuck, it's literally been 3 months since I've used drugs as an excuse to hide from something that I don't know how to fix or deal with emotionally. It's been 3 months since I've had a beer. It's been 3 months in a row that I've gone to the gym, and look at me now. There's some great sort of merits that you can look up to. Like I've decided in my life that I'm the type of person that is unable to drink. I'm unable to smoke substances. I'm unable to take substances, and I'm 100% sober permanently for the rest of my life. And I don't get any desires to drink or do drugs. I don't get any thoughts when something goes wrong. Oh, fuck, I better go and use, because I decided in myself that I'm not the person to be able to do that. I'm not the person to be able to handle a couple of drinks here and there. I'm not the type of person that can go out every couple of weekends and have some lines with the boys. I'm the type of person that if I love something, I want it all the time. So instead, I just have none of it. And that's an amazing strategy for a lot of recovering addicts. And it's also, like I said, it's a bit of a merit. So I was hanging out with one of my mates at the gym the other day, and we're doing a session together. And he said to me, "Oh, Chris, do you think you'll ever use again?" And I literally said to him, "Well, last time I did, I hated how I felt, and I couldn't believe that that's what I used to enjoy." And on top of that, I also said, I actually get proud saying to people, "Look, sorry, I don't actually do that." And to some people, because they look at me and they go, "Well, he looks like the type of guy that loves, getting on it." And when I say that, it kind of shocks them sometimes, and they go, "Oh, why is that?" And they say, "Oh, I used to be a really bad boy, and these days I'm just focused on my goals and my development." And for me, I find that as a huge pride to sort of say that to people. And I think a lot of other people see that as a strength. And when you can remove that thing inside you that says getting on the bags is cool, or taking 10 caps on a weekend and getting absolutely fucked up is like a really cool festival thing, or when you get over calling your friend and going, "Fuck, how about last night, man? We got absolutely shit-faced, and I can't even remember getting out of the valley," and blah, 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 blah. When you can get into the space of, "Sup, bro? You awake? Yeah, cool. This is like 4 a.m. Do you want to have a gym session? Yeah, sick. I'll see you there in half an hour." That is such a more productive and powerful conversation on a Sunday morning, rather than the alternative of, "Oh, bro, fuck, I can't remember last night." And the more and more and more you sort of solidify into your mind that those healthy conversations are actually cool, and the friendship circle you associate with appreciate those sort of calls, and they dive into them, then look, sobriety for me in those instances of really dialing into that discipline and understanding how the honeymoon periods work and understanding how to cope with certain roadblocks and things like that, sobriety can be easy. It doesn't have to be a chore, and it doesn't have to be embarrassing. It doesn't have to be shameful. And that's to be honest, that's why I do these videos, because I know how easy it is to be a drug addict. I know how easy it is to self-sabotage your life. I know how easy it is to have everything and lose it, and then have everything and then lose it. I know what it's like to not speak to your family anymore because you fucked it up in the past. I know what it's like to have amazing, like unbelievable amounts of money coming into my bank and then fucking it up. All of these things, I feel like it's my purpose or my mission to share to as many people as I can, because if say 1,000 people watch this video and just 2 of them implement what I've gone through, and that stops them from being a full-blown drug addict and enables their sobriety long-term, then that feels fucking fantastic to me. If that person then shares their experience and they can help another person and so on and so forth, that fucking feels amazing to me too. So yeah, touching on what we just spoke about, there's obviously a honeymoon period with all new activities we do, whether it's a fitness journey, a drug addiction journey, a sobriety journey, whatever, a career journey, whatever it is. And you need to understand that honeymoon period will wear off, but it doesn't mean that you have to stop your journey. What it means is you need to now find another way to reignite it and another way to make it exciting. And if some roadblocks happen along the way, just remember that that's the universe testing you, or God testing you, to make sure that, hey, is this person actually ready to stick on that journey or not? And if you're not ready, you're going to fuck up and you're going to go back to your old ways. If you are ready, you'll jump over the speed bump and you'll continue on your amazing journey like you should.